right, so I have a question for everyone today. Have you ever been surprised by what you're capable of, even when you felt completely depleted? Okay? How about when you're trying something new for the first time and you're like, I have no idea, I don't know, maybe you're even afraid or whatever, but there's something, right? So when I was writing the quick sort of newsletter today about the reminder about Elevate, I was originally sort of thinking about mustering and how when we just feel like we have nothing left to give, somehow there's something that we can access and we can just find ourselves like, oh my gosh, I had no idea I had it in me. But then I was also reminded about things like learning how to swim, or as a parent, teaching your kid how to swim, and how there can be so much fear and trepidation and nervousness and anxiety and tensing up and that kind of thing. Or learning how to ride a bike, or as a parent, teaching your kid how to ride a bike. And then I thought to a couple of things that I tried in my youth that I probably wouldn't do now. One of them was the Commonwealth Games took place in Edmonton one year. I grew up in Edmonton, and so at the Kinsman Pool, they had the diving boards that they used for the Commonwealth Games, and there was like the super massive high, I don't know how many stories tall, and one day I'm like, I'm going up there, and I'm just gonna jump off, right? I can't even tell you what I felt as I was climbing that ladder or like whatever it is, to get up there and then standing on the edge. And everyone and everything is so tiny and so small. I'm like, but I'm up here now. I got to do it, right? I can't go and climb that thing all the way back down. And I jumped. All I did was jump. I didn't try and dive or whatever, and I just jumped. And I remember, the one thing that I do remember is like the water feeling so hard from that height. But I did it, right? Like I was so afraid, and I'm like, I'm gonna die, probably not, but it feels like I'm gonna do it anyway, and so I did. So there's that, right? We have those moments in our life. And so whether it's learning to swim, ride a bike, jumping off a diving board that is several, stories tall, or even something like for me when I was a kid, sliding down a fireman's pole. Like I was terrified of there's the gap, like what's gonna happen if I don't curl myself around, but eventually I did it, right? So there's all these opportunities that we have in life to sort of face the fear and do it anyway, or to just feel like I have no idea how I'm going to get through this, but there's something that we're able to access, right? So the title of my talk today is Just When You Thought You Couldn't. Okay, little peanut rolling an orange up a hill. So as everyone here knows, I have been in a fitness challenge. I had a week off, and then this Monday I started another one. And in the week off, the lack of structure, I talked about this on Sunday, was crazy. I was so looking forward to the time off. My muscles did appreciate not working out, but not having a meal plan to go by, not having the routine of physical activity impacted every single aspect of my life. And so what I discovered, what I noticed very early into the week is that I thrive on structure, I appreciate routine, and even though some might think that that's kind of, boxing myself in, kind of like you talked about, I found great freedom in the structure. And so I'm back with my structure this week. I'm back with another thing. And there was a live call on Monday with Kim, who's the woman who's doing this fitness challenge. And in that call, she's giving us all of her little nuggets of wisdom and encouraging us and mindset shifting and all that kind of stuff. And someone asks, just like they did in the last challenge, how long do we have to do this for? And she's like, forever. And some people are like, what do you mean? This is just supposed to be like an 8-week or a 4-week challenge or something. And she's like, listen, if you think that you can keep going the way that you did before and keep this new version of you that you have right now, you're delusional, okay? You have to be able to let go of the old stories, the thoughts, the beliefs, the choices, the ways of being if you want to experience something new. And this isn't anything new for us, right? Like we talk about this on a pretty regular basis, how if we want to experience something different, we have to do things differently. So we have to make new choices. We have to take different action steps. We have to think different thoughts. We need to entertain new beliefs. We need to tell new stories. You set an amazing intention, with the light to want to be able to experience more of that in your human form. And that's what's happening, right? And so this is the kind of thing that Kim Constable is talking to us saying to us on a regular basis. And I so appreciate it because it's almost like she's a new thought coach, kind of, right? So anyway, started this 4-week challenge, which is this time buns and guns, okay? Buns and guns. And she really hasn't laid off in any way, shape, or form. Like, if the people who did the last 8-week challenge, they're in good shape for this one. Even so, it's still, like, today's workouts really, really kicked my butt, no pun intended. And so even though I have made a conscious choice to get up at 4 a.m. for the next 4 weeks so that I can do all of my mindfulness and meditation first, because that has to happen, and to have an hour to do that, and then to go into the workouts and get the 2 workouts done that I have to do before I do anything else outside of the house, which might include going to the gym, like I did this morning, so far so good. Now, today's workouts almost killed me, but I was so glad that I did them, and then I got to the gym, and Gareth is like, how you feeling today? And I'm like, oh my God, they were so hard today. She worked like the entire body, everything is aching, and I'm just really, really exhausted. He's like, well, what do you want to focus on? And I'm like, I don't even know, but let's go with upper body, because I can't even imagine what lower body might feel like right now. So the first thing he tells me to do is to do shoulder presses, which we did this morning with 20-pound weights. I'm like, are you crazy? Like, I've only done 15 so far, and I told you about how I almost ripped my arm out of my shoulder on the last day of butt camp when I thought I was doing chest presses, and I took 20 pounds, but it was shoulder presses. These are smaller than these. He goes, no, you can do 20. Go ahead. So I did 3 sets of 20. Super hard, but I did it. Okay, that was like a small win. It was like, okay, yay, fantastic. But then he walks me over to the pull-up bar. Now, I have to tell you, the pull-ups, these are like man exercises for me, okay? These are like, I don't see a lot of women doing them, and even when Glenn came to the gym with me, he was like, I want to be able to do these, right? Chin-ups, pull-ups kind of thing. And so I have never in my life been able to do a pull-up on my own. It's always been with a band, and I've always had the trainer pushing me up, and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing here because I don't feel like I'm doing anything, nothing's engaging. And so I said to Gareth, are you trying to kill me? And he's like, listen, you told me that today's workout was really super hard. We're not lightening up here at the gym, so come on. So he put on a medium band, which is less resistance than the tight band that I've been using. And then he's not even standing anywhere near me. And I go to pull one up thinking, are you going to help me or not? And I did one by myself. And then I did another. I did 6 in a row by myself. And then he had to help me a little bit to get to 8. And then the next set I did 5, the next set I did 4, and he helped me to get to 8 to each one. This was another one of those, oh my God, I can't believe it. Because I was so tired, like so exhausted. I'm like, I have nothing left to give, okay? Because this is a shred challenge. Anything that I'm eating is being burned up super fast. And I was so exhausted. I'm like, I don't have it in me. And yet, here I am pleasantly surprised again at what my body can do. And it's not just that it's my body, it's this energy that we are, right? This creativity, this power that is always there, is always available if we would just allow ourselves to tune into it and let it, trickle down or pour down, however quickly it is that we can manage it. So I was so excited about this and just thought, oh my gosh, like, this is exactly why it is so important to also have your spiritual practice, to have your mindfulness practice, because the whole point of that is to do it when things are going well, when life is easy, when it's not hard to get it into your routine so that it becomes so automatic, so habitual, becomes the tendency of your thought and behavior that when things do get hard, when you do feel depleted, when you do feel exhausted, like you have nothing left to give, or you are considering jumping off, a super high diving board that could probably kill you if you, landed on the water wrong, that you can default to the power and the presence and the profundity that we are at our core. And this is something that I am being reminded of again and again and again with these incredible fitness challenges that I'm involved in. And I am so grateful because it just correlates with what I just said about our spiritual practice, which then helps us to build strength and resilience mentally, emotionally, and spiritually so that we can handle, not just the physical stuff, but all of the other stuff that we have to navigate in life. So going back to the call with Kim this morning, or not this morning, on Monday, when people were like, how long do we have to do this for? And she's like, forever. She's like, look, you need to have a little funeral for your old self right now, okay? I mean it. I'm not trying to be morbid or anything, but have a little funeral for your old self because you're done with that self. Unless you want to experience more of what that old self, experienced and got you to where you are in this moment, if you want more of that, okay, fine. Hang out with your little old self. But if you are ready for something new, something different, more of that light beyond the torn fabric, then you have to let go of the old self. You have to let go of all of the thinking, all of the behavior, all of the stories that got your old self to where you are, so that you can open up to your new self, to that thing that is alive in you every moment of every day, just waiting to unleash itself through you, right? So, the meditation quote that we had today, everyone was here for the meditation, that's what I want to end with, because this is the whole thing that we want to embrace. I'm available to what wants to evolve and emerge through me, and I'm willing to practice and embody what that takes for it to do so. Michael Bernard Beckwith. So my invitation for all of us, me included, is to continue from one now moment to the next, not to just remember who we are, but to open up to that incredible, amazing power and creativity and strength and resilience that we are, because it's always there. It is always available and ready to emerge, to evolve. It is always, always available and ready to inspire us into stepping into, embracing, and embodying a greater, more powerful, more resilient version of who and what we are in this moment. So how does that sound to everybody? All right, and so it is.